April 29, 2025, a Tuesday morning in Naples, Italy. Journalist Ciro Pellegrino picks up his iPhone. A notification waits on the lock screen. It is not from his wife. It is not from his editor. It is from Apple. You are being targeted by mercenary spyware attempting to remotely compromise your iPhone. Pellegrino has clicked nothing, downloaded nothing. He has done nothing unusual. But somewhere in the background, while he was sleeping, his phone had been speaking with a server in another country. The server belongs to an Israeli surveillance company called Paragon Solutions. By the time he reads the notification, the spyware has been inside his phone for weeks. He is one of 90 people around the world who got the same warning. Journalists, activists, sea rescue workers, people doing nothing illegal, people simply doing their jobs. This is the Paragon story, and it is far darker than the headlines suggest. Paragon Solutions was founded in Israel in 2019. The Citizen Lab confirmed the founders included Ehud Barak, yes, the former Prime Minister of Israel, and Ehud Schneerson, the former commander of Israel's elite cyber unit 8200. The company sells a single product, graphite, a mercenary spyware tool that grants its operator complete access to a target's phone. Messages, photos, microphone, camera, encrypted apps like Signal and WhatsApp. But Paragon marketed itself differently from rivals like NSO Group, the makers of Pegasus. Paragon insisted it would only sell to democratic governments. It claimed its contracts banned spying on journalists and civil society. By April 2025, those promises were in pieces. On January 31, 2025, WhatsApp dropped a bombshell. The Meta-owned platform announced it had blocked a hacking campaign by Paragon and notified around 90 of its users that they had been targeted with graphite. The Guardian, Reuters, and the Israeli newspaper Haaretz all picked up the story within hours. The victims were not terrorists. They included Italian journalist Francesco Cancellato, editor of fanpage.it, an outlet that had recently exposed alleged links between Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni's political party and young fascists in June 2024. Other victims, Luca Casarini and Dr. Giuseppe Beppe Caccia, the founders of Mediterranean Saving Humans, an Italian nonprofit that rescues migrants drowning in the Mediterranean Sea, and David Yambio, founder of Refugees in Libya, sea rescuers, editors, activists, all targeted by a tool sold only to democracies. The scandal then exploded inside Italy. On February 12, 2025, the Italian Minister for Relations with Parliament publicly admitted what cybersecurity researchers had suspected for years. The Italian government was a Paragon customer. The director of Italy's External Intelligence Service, AISE, confirmed in a classified hearing that graphite had been deployed on multiple occasions. He denied spying on journalists. By June, the parliamentary committee co-passer confirmed that the Italian government had used graphite against Casarini and Caccia. They called the targeting lawful. Then in April 2026, Wired Italy reported that Italian prosecutors had formally requested information from Paragon a year earlier, and Paragon had still not responded. The company that promised accountability went silent the moment courts came calling. Here is the technical genius of graphite. There is no link to click. There is no app to install. There is no virus to download. InfoSecurity magazine and The Record reported that Apple confirmed the attack exploited a critical iOS vulnerability tracked as CVE-2025-43200. CVSS score 9.8 out of 10. The flaw was triggered by a maliciously crafted photo or video shared through an iCloud link. The victim never sees the link. The attack runs in the background. The phone makes a quiet request to a Paragon server. Spyware installs itself silently. Apple has patched the bug in iOS 18.3.1, but only after Pellegrino's phone was already compromised. Citizen Lab gave the Android forensic fingerprint its own name. They call it Big Pretzel. The iOS fingerprint they call P1. Both signatures have now been matched across multiple infections. Citizen Lab's investigation, cited by The Guardian and TechCrunch, identified likely Paragon customers in Australia, Canada, Cyprus, Denmark, Israel, and Singapore. Evidence also pointed to the Ontario Provincial Police as a probable Canadian client. 6 democracies, 1 Israeli company, hundreds of phones potentially compromised, and no public accountability. The Citizen Lab researchers Bill Marzak and John Scott Railton put it simply: claims that any spyware is stealth or untraceable melt away under close scrutiny. For years, the world worried about Pegasus, about NSO Group, about the obvious villains. Paragon is the quiet version, sold by a former prime minister, marketed as the ethical alternative, used to spy on journalists exposing the government that bought it. The lesson is uncomfortable.